Ernest punched me. Just wanted to make sure I was streaming. Lucian tried to kill me. The room falls silent. I was not trying to kill you, dumbass. I was just trying to build a brick wall around you and see what would happen. You promised me there was wine down here. You tricked me. Whoa, 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 wait a second. Lucian, did you try to cask of Amontillado Ernest? I'm neither confirming nor denying that. I turned to Damien and whispered to him, What's cask of Amontillado? What's going on here? It's a classic Edgar Allan Poe short story where a man gets his enemy drunk, lures him down to his cellar with the promise of wine of a fine vintage, then buries him alive behind a brick wall. It's a lovely story. Oh, yeah. Sounds lovely. So wait, Lucian, you tried to do that to him? I was curious to see how it would turn out. I wasn't actually going to leave him there. Right. What was the thought process here? That Ernest was just going to sit still while you slowly built a tomb around him? Well, it worked for like 20 minutes because he's an idiot, but then he realized that I lied about the wine. And you were cackling maniacally. That sort of tipped me off. Ernest, 20 minutes? Dad, it took you 20 minutes? Son, we just did an entire 2-week unit on the cask of Amontillado, and it took you 20 minutes to realize Lucian was leading you into an elaborate ruse? Did you even read the story? I read the first 5 pages and then read the review of a movie. It's only 5 pages long and there is no movie. Aha, yeah, you're right. I paid Lucian to read it for me. Actually, he didn't even pay me, so when you think about it, this was me teaching him a lesson. Damien and Hugo both have their heads in their hands. You guys are always telling me to engage in the literature, and I did. I don't see a problem here. Alright, I'm following this under what the hell. Don't do whatever that was. Again, you two are both suspended for a week. Ernest and Lucian high-five. The teacher starts to stomp up the stairs. Hugo, I'll cover your class. Take your son home. Mr. Bloodmarch, you too. Thank you for your mediation. We all head up the stairs and out of the school in tense silence. Lucy and Damien and I all pile into my car and begin the drive home. Lucian immediately puts his hood up and stares out the window angrily. I'm not going to therapy again. I know, son. It's entirely up to you whether or not you want to go. But I care about you, and I can see that you're struggling, so if you do decide that you would like to speak to a professional about your feelings, we can do that too. Maybe you can spend this next week looking for a summer job, I know how much you want your own car. I can't believe Damien's keeping his cool. I'm impressed. Fine. Thanks for not freaking out too hard. I love you, son. Lucian continues staring out of the window. Love you too. Oh. We spend the rest of the drive in relative silence. The moment we pull into the driveway, Lucian hops out of the car, slams the door, and runs inside. I didn't expect to have that conversation in front of you. He and I have a lot we need to work out. It's alright, and all things considered, Lucian's bricklaying was pretty good, so there's your silver lining. There is that, yes. Well, you were a lot more diplomatic with him than I would have been. I just want what's best for him, and I don't think yelling at him would do either of us any favors. It rarely does. You're a good dad. I like the eggplants. See you around soon? It would be my honor and my pleasure. Damien bows with a flourish. Classy. I come home to find Amanda curled up on the couch with a blanket watching TV. I plop down next to her. Yo. What you watching? Tiny House Hunting Brothers, Extreme Edition. Ugh, I hate this show. The couple on screen bickers back and forth while standing in an extremely small house made out of recycled bottles. The Tiny House Hunting Brothers watch them with bemused expressions, both of their heads touching the low ceiling. Told you I wanted 2-bed, 2-bath, shabby chic cottage. This house doesn't even have a bathroom. But honey, the outhouse is only 20 yards away. It's not that bad. I am not pooping outside, Greg. Can't blame you either. I wouldn't poop outside either. Why don't they just get a regular-sized house? I don't know. How'd afternoon tea go? It got strange. We had to go to the school to pick up Lucien since he tried to. He lured Andres down to the cellar with the promise of fine vintage and then tried to brick him into the wall, right? How did you know that? Has everyone read the story except for me? Lucien live-streamed the entire thing. This entire day is beyond me. But otherwise, it was a fun day. That Damien guy's a character, but he's really good company. And a surprisingly diplomatic dad. I dig his style. You know what? Me too. Me too, Amanda. Me too. You're welcome, Damien. Okay. Let's go on a date with Hugo. This is the teacher. I like him because he agrees that you can't compare Picasso and Van Gogh, guys. They're two different things. I navigate to Hugo's dad book page and type out a message. Hey Hugo, great seeing you at the barbecue. Want to hang out sometime? I wait for a few minutes before the computer dings. I'm so glad you messaged me, and I definitely want to hang out sometime, but I have a favor to ask. Our class is going on a field trip to the aquarium today, and one of the chaperones called in sick. Is there any possible way you could come by and them? Uh-oh. Replace them. I completely understand if you don't want to or can't make it, but I'm going to be honest with you here. It's the middle school class. I need as much help as I can get. I think about it for a moment. Man, that's a lot of screaming kids that I'd be accountable for. And they're in middle school, arguably the worst age to be. Agreed. Amanda silently trudges into the kitchen and pours herself a bowl of cereal. Morning, Amanda. Morning, Pops. Hey, how was middle school for you? Bad, but nobody likes middle school. It's 3 years of bad acne, crying, and being generally terrible. Everyone sucks, no self-awareness. It's just a bunch of hormonal teenagers locked in a gross old building for 40-plus hours a week doing long division and starting fights over, I don't know, pizza day? Top 40s pop? Middle schoolers should be avoided at all costs. What was your middle school experience like? It was so long ago, we probably rode dinosaurs to class and bartered for lunch with the tiny skulls of the animals we had slain. We probably had to walk uphill in the snow both ways too, huh? And we liked it. See, middle schoolers are reprehensible. Wait, why are you asking me about middle school? Oh, Mr. Vega requested my help to chaperone his middle school class to the aquarium. I just wanted to know what I was in for. You get to go to the aquarium? Are you kidding me? The last field trip I got to go on was to the clam chowder factory. Ugh. They didn't even give us clam chowder. They gave us square pizza at a clam chowder factory. Oh, is that why you won't eat clam chowder anymore? No, it's because Bobby Wallingham threw up into one of the vats of clam chowder and I'm the only one who saw it happen. It haunts me. Right, let's leave that story firmly in the past. Anyway, you should just do it. Mr. Vega sounds like he could really use the help. Plus, you get to hang out with cool fish. Amanda, I get kind of weird about aquariums. The ocean makes me nervous. Okay. You are no longer like me, my character. What, are you worried that a whale is going to pop out of the touch tank and swallow you whole? Don't you put fear in my heart. Well, do they have penguins there? Yes, they have penguins there. Then it's settled. Penguins outweigh fear of ocean. I sit back at the computer and let Hugo know I'm available. He tells me to meet him at the aquarium and gives me the address. I grab my keys and kiss Amanda on the forehead before I head out. I arrive at the aquarium to find that the school buses have beaten me there. Preteens huddle around their teachers in small groups, yelling at each other and goofing off. Every teacher looks like they're at their wits' end. Hugo jogs up to me, looking frazzled. I'm so glad you're here. Hugo! It's been a debacle all morning. We're short-handed and most of the kids won't stop screaming, as I'm sure you know is the case with all middle schoolers. It's true. I lived through Amanda at 12. I'm all too familiar. Great, well it's you and me chaperoning a group of 10 kids. They're over here. That sounds disgusting. Hugo walks me over to a gaggle of preteens who are all sitting on the ground playing with their phones. They're not kicking each other like some of the other groups, so we're off to a good start. Can you guys put your phones away? All the kids look up for a minute to stare at Hugo. Then they go back to texting. At least they're quiet. Too quiet. These guys are up to something. I can feel it in my bones. There's no way. They're too busy thinking about not getting food stuck in their braces to pull any stunts. It's middle school after all. We'll see. I'll see. The classes start filing into the aquarium, and Hugo hands out massive stapled packets of paper to each kid. These are due at the end of the field trip. Yes, this will be for a grade. No, you can't borrow a pencil. Kids collectively groan and grab the sheets from Hugo. What's in the packet? Honestly, it's just busy work so that teachers can have a moment's reprieve. I think one of the questions asks them to sit quietly for 10 minutes to think about the Great Barrier Reef. Teacher hacks. I like that. I hate that. Wait, I thought you were an English teacher. What does the aquarium have to do with books? We just did a unit on the old man of the sea. Nothing quite like introducing kids to the futile perseverance of the human spirit by making them pet stingrays. I love stingrays. Gives us time to check out some of the exhibits as well. Come on, they have phenomenal selection of tropical fish. Yes. While the kids sit on the floor and pretend to do their assignments while they text, Hugo and I wander over to a large tank filled with brightly colored fish. Hugo points to brown whitefish with long spines. That right there is a lionfish. Did you know that their stomachs can expand to up to 30 times in size? Whoa. Their spines are venomous too. I knew that. Nature is hardcore. You think that's bad? Take a look at this one over here. Hugo points to a spiny, grumpy-looking fish hanging out near the bottom of the tank. That's a stonefish, the most venomous fish in the world. And they just, keep it here? Oh, they're relatively harmless so long as you don't step on them. What happens if you step on them? Tissue necrosis. Oh my god. I've actually heard about people getting that from stepping on these fish. Cool. Nature is wild. Man, Hugo seems to know a lot about fish. I feel the overwhelming need to impress him. Hey, see that fish over there? That one? Yeah, that's the... I actually don't know what... Yeah? Did you know that... This is the only species of fish known to develop clinical depression? Wait, are you serious? What do I have on my fucking mouse? Oh. Sharks, sea turtles, eels, and other marine life swim around in a massive floor-to-ceiling aquarium. The kids began trying to take selfies with the sharks. Hugo leaves my side to separate two kids who start fighting over pretty sun. I walk around the room reading the tiny little blurbs about different fish swimming inside the pool. After a while, I look around and see Hugo again. He's gazing up at the aquarium in childlike wonder. I already did. I just did.
Where the fuck is my vape?
I don't know. But my phone is off on the chat, so I'm gonna reload it. Whop.
No one said anything.
I know. Haley's watching.
Hi,
Haley. For someone surrounded by angry hormonal preteens, he looks completely peaceful. He looks really cute in this light. I hope he doesn't notice me staring. Wow. I walk over to join him. Beautiful, isn't it? Fucking gorgeous.
Say it before you do.
No, Ash. One's eating the other. Oh, well. Wonder what... I'd rather stare at you. Nope. That was a bad choice. That was the worst choice. I did that. He did not like it. A great many mysteries lie in the ocean. It truly is fascinating to be able to observe it in a setting such as this. That's a very astute point. Ash, you mean Gigi?
No, I mean the other person that just joined in.
I didn't see that.
Also, hi, Haley.
There's another person in there?
Yeah.
I see me in there.
She hasn't said anything in chat yet.
Oh, there are 3 people watching now.
4.
Mine says 3. How do you see who's watching?
Don't. I was talking to her.
Oh. That's a very astute point, Ash. Oops, I forgot my voice. We stand together for a moment, admiring the wonders of marine life. And wishing I could make out with my daughter's teacher. We eventually make our way to the touch tank room, which seems to be the only thing the kids are actually interested in. The tank is filled with a variety of horseshoes, crabs, sea urchins, stingrays, and small fish.
You're a small fish.
Can you do me a favor, Davy?
No, I just sat down.
You get the chance. I stand around the edges of the tank and keep a wary distance from the sea life. Who knows what kind of nefarious plans those horseshoe crabs have for my well-moisturized hands.
Yeah, your character, contrary to your real-life persona, has
Hugo
a
rolls
bit of
up
a fear of this
his sleeve and sticks his hand in the water. Don't you want to pet some rays, Ash? Oh, I think I'm good. I don't really... I think I should just stay over here and admire them from a respectable distance.
It's funny because he's voiced by Ray Navarez Jr.
Oh! Come on, it'll be fun and informative.
By the way, guys, I am consistently watching the chat. So
Don't make fun of me, but I'm scared to touch them. I get weird when there's no glass separating us. I don't know what any of those things are, but I get the feeling they will probably bite me in my delicious hands if given the chance. Nothing in this tank can hurt you. The stingrays have had their barbs removed, the horseshoe crabs only eat little clams, and the anemones are perfectly safe to touch. Against my better judgment, I approach the tank, slowly dipping my hand into the cold water. I touch a stingray as it glides past me. See? Not so bad. It feels like fun, slimy leather. Things get a lot less scary when you learn a bit more about them, right? Yes. I dive my hand back into the touch tank with renewed vigor for ocean life. I poke at some urchins and feel the hard carapace of a horseshoe crab. My hand brushes against Hugo's as we reach for the same anemone. I pull away, blushing. Hugo smiles at me.
Senpai.
Hey, you're supposed to be touching the fish. Sorry, I just get a little carried away sometimes. Wait. That girl over there looks suspicious. Why's that? Are backpacks usually that wet? Hold on. Oh, God. Susan, get back here. Hugo runs after a middle schooler and catches her before she can make it to the exit. Want to tell me what's in the bag? Ah, textbooks.
Jesus Christ, Asher. Your girl voice is surprisingly bad.
Want to tell me what's really in the bag? She's a middle She's a middle schooler. She hasn't hit puberty. She's in that awkward pre-pubescent stage.
It's a fish.
I walk over to Hugo and the girl. I think you might need a bad cop. Look, kid.
Just, we don't have time for games here.
Hold on. I have to see.
I'm not afraid of you, child.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Whatever it is, it goes back in the touch tank. Now. You're not a teacher. You can't tell me what to do. Yes, well, I am. Can you please put the bag down? Next time we won't say please. Susan glares at Hugo for a minute before dropping her book bag on the floor. It lands with a wet slap.
Or whatever was in there.
Make a noise. Try and make the noise. Ew, you got some of that spit on me.
Quality films here.
We stare at it for a moment before it starts to move. Hugo leans down and unzips the backpack. A horseshoe crab frantically scuttles out and across the floor. An employee swoops in, scoops it up, and places it back into the tank. She gives us a disapproving look. Jesus, Susan, what was your plan? I was trying to free him. To where? Outside? Where he's gonna die? Susan, go back to your group. We'll discuss this later. I feel you, Susan. Leaving me alone with Hugo. Gives me a pat on the shoulder. I'm glad you didn't try and hit him. I doubt that's the first time that's happened here. Or the last. In the next room, I see. Can you take over Ash's voice again?
Yeah,
In the next room, we see a variety of small tanks, sea urchins, tiny fish, and a rainbow of beautiful underwater plant life surrounded us. Look over here. Hugo points to some seahorses gathered at the bottom of the tank. One of them is in the middle of giving birth. That's actually the male seahorse. Have you guys ever seen the video?
Yeah, you know what's funny about them doing seahorses here?
Huh.
Aaron is like deathly terrified of seahorses.
If you guys have not seen it yet, YouTube video of seahorses giving birth. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. The amount of baby seahorses that pop out of their little tummies and the speed is just fucking insane.
It's like